Okay, so today let's go over any questions from how many of you guys have not started Google Ads? Say I. They're like, I. Okay, say it with conviction. How many of you guys have not started Google Ads? You missed the whole lesson, buddy. Yeah. Okay, okay. I hope you feel uplifted. That's not going to make you any money. You what?
I'll be here next week.
Okay, we'll fill you in. All right, guys, so how many of you have not started Google Ads? Say aye. Okay, so remember, Thursday is when the grading, there's like a grade for if you've started Facebook and Google Ads. It's due on Thursday, so we got to make sure we do that before then. You need to have spend money on Google Ads by then, okay? All right, so the people that have, yes?
Google and Facebook?
Yeah, Google and Facebook. Okay, so guys, the people that have spent money, let's talk about this. What are your questions? Also, if you haven't spent money, you can ask questions, but figure you'll have less. What are your questions, guys? Think about what you guys have done so far, what you're trying to set up. What are your questions? Wow.
I got one. It's kind of probably a really lame question.
No, it's not lame. It's not lame. Go ahead.
So we're just meeting before class actually to get started. So how long does it usually take for conversion to show up?
Oh, okay, that's a great question.
Testing and conversion.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Oh, man. Here we go. So this is your first conversion. Have you tested it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's the fireplace.
Uh-huh.
So she had like some call conversions or something. So we were doing a form filler.
Yeah.
Conversion where it redirects to a thank you page. So supposedly it was just set up by her. So we're just trying to test it and see if it's actually working or not.
So today I have a cost per conversion of 562, and yesterday it was 365. A lot of my conversions, when they're analytics based, sometimes they take up to 24 hours to propagate, and that's why you'll see on here that if you go to like a view, you'll notice that, like look over here, that you have up to today and up to yesterday. I always put it on up to yesterday just in case, but sometimes it takes up to 24 hours for a conversion to propagate. Okay, but the way you could test that is you go to your thank you page and make sure using like Google Tag Manager and Facebook Pixel Helper, those two Chrome extensions, that those are actually on there, that the extensions are on there properly. Does that make sense? Are they analytics? Google Tag Manager? Okay, so just download the app for Google Tag Manager, okay, or the extension on Chrome, and then it'll show up in the right-hand corner. It'll tell you every pixel on that page. Are you using analytics to test and track?
I don't think so. I think it's just the ad.
So check this out, guys. This is a great question. I'm really happy with this one. So if we go to Google Analytics, actually I have it up already. Okay, so if I go down here to admin, you guys see this? Admin, bottom. This is where I can create goals. And from creating the goals, I can propagate them into AdWords as conversion goals. This is really easy to test. So I go to here, go to goals, and then look, I can create, oh, I don't have the access on this one. Let me go to Fat Boys. New goal. Okay, so I can create a new goal, and then I can propagate it in AdWords. So I'm going to do a custom, hit continue. I'm going to name this goal a lead. What kind of it's a lead, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hit destination right here. And then all I do is I put this in. So it says equals to begins with a regular expression, regex. So I'm going to do begins with /think. Okay? So that means anything that has on the URL, so fatboysblob.com / so fatboysblob.com, you take that off. Anything / after, if it begins with /thank for thank you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it'll count that as a conversion. Okay? So I'll put that in there, and then I'll add a value. Each lead is worth $700. And then see right here, you can hit verify this goal. I can hit verify this goal, and I have 0 conversions in the past 7 days. So I can actually, if I submitted a test form, I can see if it actually worked or not.
Like
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't, I just checked, she doesn't have analytics set up, so
You definitely need to get analytics set up for her. She needs to either create an account or you need to do it and just set it all up and then link it to AdWords. Okay, so once the goal is created, so that would be the last step. I'd create that goal right there. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to the admin section. So remember this section right here that I found down in the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm going to go to Google Ads linking. And I'm going to link Google Ads to Ad Analytics. Okay, I need to link the two. Once they're linked, I can go to Google, okay, and I can find that conversion. So up in Tools and Settings, up at the top, Conversions, I'm going to hit this plus button to add a new conversion. And I'm going to hit Import. I'm going to import from Analytics. And I'm going to find the conversion I just made and just add it in. That's it. So again, you create a goal in Analytics, verify that the goal is set up properly. And then you're going to go into, you're going to link the accounts. You're going to go to Tools and Settings in Google. And then you're going to go to Conversions, add a conversion, import from Analytics, and then there it is. Any questions on that? Any questions?
So to set up Google Analytics, do we have to have like a website, login information?
You need a domain, yeah.
We don't have to like have access to Squarespace?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
Yes, you do, actually. You do. You need to be able to put a tag onto her Squarespace site. So on Squarespace, it'll ask you for the G.
Global site tag.
It's called the GID or GAD. I can't remember what it is. But basically, it's right here. So under,
It's the Google Analytics account number.
yeah, it's account ID right here. GAD or GID. I don't remember what it's called. But it basically is asking for that number right there.
You guys were talking to me a while ago about like how to do this. You can instead of dropping that code on like the form fill, although maybe you do need to do it, because with Squarespace forms, unless you do a redirect after the form fill,
She changed it to redirect.
she changed it to a redirect, so you go to a thank you page. Okay, so
Perfect.
So then she probably already got Analytics installed. There's a setting in Squarespace where you put in this ID number.
This UAID. That's right here. It's under Property Settings.
Yeah, it automatically installs the site tag of the
Okay.
entire website.
Yeah. Is that good, guys? Any questions on that? So you use the UAID number or the UA tag, Universal Analytics tag. You put that onto the site, and then that has analytics on the entire site. That's all you got to do. And then the analytics is there. Then you set up the goals, and you go from there. Any questions on that? Okay. What's next, guys? Yes.
Okay, so we're doing chiropractic. So for us, we're having trouble understanding how to track conversions because if they click the call now button on our landing page, they're going to call, but we're not necessarily going to know if they actually scheduled an appointment because then that to us counts as a conversion. So how does the data work out with that?
Are you tracking calls?
That's the point.
That's a lead. That's a conversion.
You are tracking calls? So that's how you're going to have to do it. So you're going to have to look at how many calls. You can actually set for the call tracking to be any call over a minute.
Okay.
And just assume that a call over the minute is going to be a lead. Even though not all of them are going to be that way, but that's kind of an assumption. It would take at least a minute to create a lead. Yeah. So guys, there's something called dynamic call tracking. It uses a JavaScript to set up, so just have a guy off of Fiverr do it for $5. You can type in dynamic call tracking Google, and then you can find this page, and it'll tell you exactly how to set that up on your site. And just have one of these guys do it. And what it does is, let's say I go to the site from a Google Ads keyword. If I click into the site, the phone number at the top right-hand side will change to match the keyword that was created. And it changes, and then you're good to go. And so then it'll match that with the conversion. So it'll do a call forwarding to the actual number, and it'll track if it's conversions or not. Pretty cool. It's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah. Do you have a question? Other questions? What else we got? What else we got? Yeah.
Is that how SafeRack set up to track calls?
They use, no, they use an actual third party, like CallRail. Yeah. They don't just do it with Google, they do it with like everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just send all the calls through them and this meeting.
Yep.
They set up
And it's a call forwarding, pings a virtual page that doesn't exist with the conversion tracking on it, and calls it a conversion. What other questions you guys have about Google or Facebook? Okay, well, if nothing else is there, let's actually do some auditing, huh? Let's audit a campaign or an account. Who wants to be my dummy, my test dummy?
Oh wait, I do have one more.
Oh, please, Will, go for it.
So once you create your campaign, how can you know if your media is going to be approved?
How do you know of what?
Media
What do you mean by media?
on Facebook, or is this strictly for Google Ads?
If it's going to be approved?
Yeah, because I sent some stuff in and then it was like not approved.
Yeah, so Facebook it does not like anything that's negative. Okay, so if you, like I had a kid in the last class, he was doing microdermabrasion rollers for the face, and he's like, I used to hate my skin, was like his hook, but after having the micro, et cetera, if you say the word hate, instantly going to disapprove you. Shame, hate, violence related, they'll disapprove that. So you just got to make sure the news is positive and uplifting, so take a different spin on it.
There's also like, currently there was too much text in a video that I put up.
Yeah. Resubmit it, and if it doesn't work, I'll try to cut down the amount of text.
I had submitted on one of my ads like 5 different ads, the exact same. They're just going to different landing pages, the exact same ad, and one of them got disapproved. The other 4 got through. Weirdest thing. What else, guys? That's a great question, Will. Anything else for Facebook that you guys can think of? Campaigns, ad groups, ads, keywords, audiences, retargeting, bidding strategies. Go ahead.
So for Google, is it true, like I want to have basically one keyword associated with each ad group? Is that how you do that? Or,
No, not necessarily. But as tight as humanly possible with the groups.
okay.
Yeah.
But you could have more if it's, like you don't have enough search volume for one keyword.
Yeah, you absolutely could have more, yeah. Yeah, good question.
I think for some of our group, we aren't as comfortable with Facebook.
Okay.
And we talk a lot about with the Google, but if we were to start from scratch, could you just remind like what would be your process
Yeah.
from scratch?
Absolutely. Great question. How many of you guys feel more comfortable with Facebook than Google? Say aye. How many of you feel more comfortable with Google than Facebook? Say aye. Holy cow. Okay.
How many people feel comfortable with Facebook because that's where they spend their time? How many people feel comfortable with Google because that's where they spend their time?
Well, look at that, guys. Wow. All right, guys. All right, here we go. So on Facebook, this is kind of the order I would test. I would have, that was so weird. It started moving up. And I was like, am I like off balance? LP1, LP2, 2 different offers. Okay? It's so weird. Audience 1, audience 2. I would probably test these simultaneously, right? So I'd have LP1 with 2 different ad sets. So I'd have a campaign. And in the campaign, I'd have 2 different ad sets. So I'd have 4 different ad sets. I'd have one ad set, I'd have one landing page. I'd have 2 ad sets with landing page 1 that had these 2 audiences, 2 ad sets for landing page 2 with these 2 audiences, and I would test 4 things at a time, okay, for those 2. If I didn't have a very compelling reason to do 2 different landing pages, then I would probably test 4 different audiences, okay, instead of LP2. I'd probably do it like that, okay, and then from there, I would pick the best one, and then let's say this is the winner. After spending 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending on what you need to spend, I would do 3 different creatives. I pick the winner again, I do 3 different texts. Okay? And then from there, I'd probably do bidding strategies. Or I'd go back and try that same creative with audience number 2. Or think of a new audience and kind of just build from there. And I would start experimenting and keep continuing that process. Does that make sense? Okay, so do you need actual implementation help?
Well, so we have our Google ads, but we're still trying to find our Facebook.
Group?
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, but
Shoot.
we're trying to figure out. We have some that we could do, like and we can start, but we don't know yet. So
Anyone else? Like, have you checked the schedules? Like the list of clients?
on the 20 businesses.
Yeah.
We have,
Yeah, you need to get on that like today, like tonight. Okay, there's people that want to work with you, but dang, like you need to tell them as well, like I have to have this, I mean, it's due in like 2 weeks. And you need time to show the histories. Like you can't do a test in one day. You have to have time for those things. What are you gonna do?
What if we, we're all in this group, so what if we want to like do our own product?
Perfect, I would love that.
Do we have enough time to?
Yeah, absolutely.
We could build our own website. Is that one of the main things that we need for Facebook?
You need a landing page.
We need to create?
We'll let you use our ClickFunnels account. Is it set up yet? Let's get Ben on. Can you text Ben and see about doing that today?
I think that we would like, we'd be motivated to do it on our own. But
Yeah.
Time-wise.
Yeah, you got to get on that like ASAP. Guys, today, the stuff I'm going to teach you today will probably help you a lot, okay, with having ideas to actually start this. So hopefully after today, it'll help. Can you guys Marco Polo me when you have an update with what business you guys decide to use and all that stuff? I really want to push you guys to like do that tonight. Yeah.
So really quick, just with this example, you did, each landing page was its own campaign.
Each landing page had its own ad set. So I had landing page 1 with 2 ad audiences, landing page 2 with 2 audiences, all in the same campaign.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't separate campaigns unless it was a different product or different like brand or location or just like a real reason to separate it. Yeah. These are all doing the same product, so might as well put them in the same campaign. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyone else have questions about that?
What does A stand for?
Audience? Yeah.
So when you said different location though, that's when you're dealing with like a physical
Yeah,
location.
like Salon 1 versus Salon 2.
Yeah, so if you're selling a product online, there's not a whole lot of
Hmm.
reason to switch campaigns unless
You might want to,
completely change products or something.
or bidding strategies, right? So you do a lead gen campaign versus a conversion campaign. You might want to change products for that. You try like a day parting versus regular campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So you're testing 4 audiences and then 3 creatives in each one?
No.
All the creatives the same or?
All the creatives are exactly the same in the beginning. Once, because you're assuming that like, because you only can only test one thing at a time.
Just 1 creative for each audience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Great question. Yes.
What if we've already split up our audiences
Mhm.
and we want to go that route?
What do you mean you already split up the audiences?
Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind.
That's great. I love that you split up your audience. What do you mean?
Never mind.
Okay. Love the questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. What else? Okay. Let's shift back to Google. Are we okay on Facebook? Do you want me to go over anything on Facebook, how to do stuff, or?
You know, I think that right there is good enough.
That's what you needed.
That's good ground.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I would test a couple of things on that. Fantastic. Let's look at, guys, let's look at Google a little bit. Remember what we did last week where we did that audit? Who can help me with an audit? Who wants to help run through an account and do an audit for me? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller?
For this, do you need like data?
You need your notes from last week, and I'll pull up an account on here of mine.
I mean, like if we were going to give you our.
Not your data. I want to look at my campaigns.
Oh, okay, good. Never mind. I'm off today.
Anyone? Wow, you guys really understand this so well. Let's do it, Lance. Somebody's not afraid to fail. Yeah, good job. Guys, it's okay if we mess up. Do you have your notes from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pull those up so you can like look at the audit stuff about how to go through this. Okay? Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. All right, here we go. Help me audit this account, good sir. What do we got to do now, first off?
All right, should we start with the campaigns?
Always.
Let's start with campaigns. Let's look at your budgets.
Okay, first, what's the date range you want, good sir?
Let's do, say the last month maybe, or?
Yeah, I like that.
Sure.
Now, what's the logic on the date range?
Things are constantly changing.
Okay.
So if you can get a date range that gives you enough data to really understand what's going on, but it's close enough to
Yeah.
where you're not being impacted by seasonal changes or maybe big holidays that are happening or stuff like that.
Beautiful. I love that. So Yeah, all these things affect how long of a date range. Maybe what I want to do is I want to find campaigns that, like, let's say like I started a campaign a week ago, or I changed the campaign significantly, and in my title of the campaign, I do this a lot, I'll put the date as like 9/2 or 11/5 or something like that. I would go back to the start of that change, and I compare that to the time before that. I want to look at a significant time period. And this one, I don't have those kind of cases, so a 30-day time period is absolutely great. So, okay, what are we going to look at first?
Well, in my notes I have written down if your budgets are optimized.
Okay, I actually want to look at Western Prefab. I haven't looked at this account in a while, so this will be good. Okay, so if the budgets are optimized, what does that mean?
I'm not sure.
What is budget optimized? What does he mean by that?
Means that your money's going to the right place.
Okay, budgets are okay, so we have a bunch of campaigns and we disperse the money to the right place. What does the right place mean?
Wherever you're going to get the best bang for your buck.
Okay, so wherever you're going to get the most bang for your buck, and how do you determine that?
You're looking at your
Cost per conversion, your cost per acquisition, right?
Yeah.
So here's 4 or 5 campaigns. Here's my cost per acquisition. So probably what I want to do is I want to sort by cost per acquisition and put the one with the lowest cost per acquisition at the top and look at these budgets and make sure that they're parsed properly. Are they? Here, it might be hard to see. Are they? What do you mean? What do you mean, no?
You got 200 budget for the worst performing one, and you've got $100 for the.
Okay, let me ask you this. If I change this budget to $400, will that do anything to the campaign? If you think yes, say aye. If you think no, say aye. If you don't know, say aye. Why will that not change anything on the campaign?
It's not limited by budget.
It's not limited by budget. Okay, so these are budgeted properly. Okay, so let's look at a different set. Let me pull this up in a different account. Now let's take a real look at this. Okay, so let's look at last 14 days. I'm going to add a filter, so I want to see at least 100 clicks on this. Okay? So now, look at this one. Look at this right here. What is that? What do you guys think about this? What should we do?
Could you increase your budget for the top one?
You could. You absolutely could. Should we do that? Guys, this is not hard stuff. Why would you not if it's limited by budget? It's limited by budget because you're not spending enough. Guys, your budget is limiting it. I have the best conversion rate on this one. I have the lowest cost per conversion. I want to get as many cost per conversions at the lowest cost possible. So I absolutely should raise my budget here. Absolutely. No question about it. That should be raised. Okay? Yes?
So is what you're saying that when there's this limited by budget status, it means that you could put more money into it and it would still do well?
And it would still spend more.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean it's going to get you a 323 conversion, cost per conversion, but it could, and you have to test that to see. But generally, that's one of the best things you could do. Okay? Let's say, okay, let's keep this a basic example. Let's say you're limited by budget. You have one campaign, okay? And you're limited by budget, and you can only spend $5,000 a month. So you can't raise your budget anymore. What do you do? What do you do? Lower your bid. Why?
Because that will help you with your budget, but it won't reset.
Why does it help you with your budget?
You're spending less money.
You're spending less money. Why are you spending less money?
Because your budget has been set lower,
Not your budget, your bid.
or your bid.
Uh-huh.
Because your bid has been set lower, Google will try to find lower costing bids so that it can make your campaign more effective.
So you price yourself out of the market by going lower. So if your bid was $1 and now your bid's 50 cents, Google can't put you in those auctions for $1. So you're no longer limited by budget, you're limited by your clicks. But what that does for you is that puts you in some of the traffic, not all of it, but that puts you at traffic at a cheaper price. And if it's at a cheaper price, what does that do to your cost per acquisition? That's a good thing, okay? So my options are I can lower, if I have a limited by budget, it's a great thing to look at. That's like a red flag, is something I need to look at. I can either raise my budget, that's good, or I can lower my bids to make it limited by your bids. And if I lower my bids, then I can get a better CPA. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand that? Yes?
Just to clarify, if you do that, if you lower your bids, you should get a better CPA, but you should also probably get less clicks, less conversions over time.
Well, no.
Is it better?
No.
Because you're already not getting the clicks because you're limited by budget.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so let's say theoretically you get $10,000 worth of spend and you're only at $5,000 worth of spend. Your spend stays the same, but now because your click cost is less, your conversion rate is still the same. So now you get more clicks. More clicks gives more conversions gives a lower cost per acquisition. Does that make sense? If you understand that, say aye. Okay, good. We good on this? Really great, Lance. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. All right. Back to this one. What's next? What should we look at? What's your notes say?
So the notes.
Let's look at the notes.
That's kind of wrong. Is day parting optimized?
Is the day parting optimized? How do I look at that?
So can you look at the days of the week?
How do I do that?
I don't know.
Help them out. How do I look at the days of the week? Anyone? Huh? Not in demographics. It's close. It's a close thought. Anyone? What else?
Go to ad schedule.
It's here. Segment. Do you guys see segment up here? So if I hit segment, I can segment by different things. Time, click type, conversions. Guys, one of the types I segment all the time, one of my clients will be like, hey, how many clicks came from calls versus how many clicks came from lead forms? If you segment by conversions, it'll tell you the conversion name. And so you can see what goals trigger the conversions. It's a really important one to look at. But in this case, I'm going to do time and day of the week. Now, is 30 days enough time for this? Probably not, right? Like, probably we want to go like 90 days. We want a lot of data on this. So on an account level, what's our best converting day? See, Tuesday's at $59. What's our worst converting day? Thursday. We have still about the same amount of conversions. Personally, I don't feel comfortable with this few of conversions making a change to day parting. I just don't. If I had 1,000 conversions on here, it might make sense. And if the numbers supported that the weekends are worse than the weekdays, that might make sense. But with only 75 conversions on something like this, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. You with me? Okay? I'd leave it for now. One other thing. What are the two types of bidding strategies that will help you understand? Okay, so what are the two types of bidding strategies that will take this into account? What two types will take into account your day parting? What are the automated bidding strategies? Max conversions and target CPA, right? So if I started a brand new campaign from a CPC bidding strategy to a target CPA bidding strategy, would I want to mess with this? No. Okay, I'd probably give it a month, maybe 2 months, because we want a lot of data with this, and then see if it figured it out on its own. And if it doesn't figure it out, then I might go in and make those changes. Does that make sense, everyone?
You said if you started, you hadn't like enhanced CPC and then you just barely started targeting.
To TCPA, I wouldn't change anything on here.
Okay.
Because it's going to take all these metrics into account, the demographics, the age, gender. I'd probably wait for a month or two to see if it figures it out. And if it doesn't, then I would go in and make those changes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You guys with me? Good. Okay, so what's next, Lance?
Are your demographics optimized?
Okay, so how do we look at demographics? I'm going to look at another account. Where do we go for demographics? Anyone? Which one? Yeah, we go to the demographics tab. That's exactly what we do. Now, if I click on demographics tab from the campaign level, it'll show the demographics for the entire account. Now, this can be confusing because you see right here it says 18 through 24 for all the campaigns. Okay? So it's a lot better to go on an actual campaign. So probably what I would do is I would sort by cost, find the campaign with the most spend, and start there. Okay? So let's look at demographics on this. I clicked into the campaign. I go to demographics. Okay? Now up here, I can sort by conversions and cost per conversions. What do you guys notice? What is the highest spending cost per conversion? Huh? Guys, speak up. Come on. For the
Highest spending cost per
yeah, what's the most expensive cost per conversion?
18 to 24?
No,
It's unknown.
Or
Okay, so that's the highest one, but we don't know how much volume goes to that. So usually unknown's a lot of volume. So what I'm going to do is on the second graph, I'm going to look at the clicks. And what I find out is I have 2,000 clicks where an average is like half of that. So it might not make sense to get rid of unknowns. Okay, if we're limited by budget, yeah, it makes sense. But if we're not, it probably doesn't make sense to get rid of the unknowns. So what's the next highest one? 45 to 54. Let's assume we've been running this TCPA for a while, so that's good. What should we do with the 45 to 54? Raise the bid? Anyone else think raise the bid? What do you guys think?
Decrease the bid, lower the bid.
Why would you lower the bid?
So that way you have less money being spent.
Right. You'd spend less volume to the 45 to 54s. Does that make sense, Sarah? Yeah. So we spend less volume to that, and then we're good. So let's take a look. 45 to 54s. I'm looking at all of these. So this was the average. Look at this. We got 468, 264, 236. This one's really high. We had 92 clicks to that too. That's not a ton, honestly. So what could we do with metal stairs industrial? See like here, this bid adjustment column? Sorry, it's up here. Up here. I could click on this pencil for metal stairs, industrial, and I could decrease the bid by 10, 15%. And that's going to decrease the clicks, and consequently, it's going to decrease my cost per conversion as well as my volume of traffic.
So, and is that what you said? I'm like kind of mixing this section with the last one. Is that what you wouldn't want to decrease it more than a certain percent?
Yeah, okay, so we talked about this last time. That's very good that you brought that up. If we decrease, do we want to go down by 50%?
no.
Why not?
It's harder for the system to readjust to that.
Good.
If you're going up, it's easier.
Exactly.
But when you're going down, it's harder for Google to figure it out. And so
Especially on what kind of automated bidding strategies? Which two?
the target CPA
Target CPA and
max.
mass conversions. On the enhanced CPC, you might get less clicks, but it's not going to reset the entire structure of the automated bidding cycle, right? So just go down a little bit on that. Are you going to miss the freemium model, the other stuff? You're missing some good stuff today.
It's going to go up on
Keaton? It's going to go up on Learning Suite.
learning.
Yeah, we can't put it on YouTube anymore. We had a kid complain about me putting it on YouTube.
What was the complaint?
The complaint was that I put it on YouTube. And it's against policy, I guess, at BYU. It was actually Stefania. No, it wasn't his class. It wasn't his class. Yeah. So anyways, I can't do that anymore. It kills me. Honestly, I think this was so helpful for people. Yeah. But Ben's stuff, by the way, Ben is doing the class for people who have here's the information on Ben's stuff. That will still go on my website, brighamdallas.com. Keaton made that, by the way. Just super awesome. He's done so much for this class. But that will still go up on the website. Okay? Awesome. Okay, so we'd make a change here. So would we look at just age, or what else do you want to look at for demos? Gender. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, here we go. What do you guys notice about this? Okay, so the transgenders are higher on the cost per acquisition. Just kidding. They just are private to Google, right? I had a friend in high school, in college. He wasn't like a close friend, more of an acquaintance, we'll say. But he was a good guy, and he changed his gender like 10 years after. Took me completely by surprise. Yeah. Okay, so females are higher than males. What should we do here? What do you think, Lance?
You could decrease your bid for females.
That's sexist. You don't think females buy construction equipment as much as men do? What? No, apparently not, right? The data says that. That's what the data says. The data says the females don't. So we would decrease the bids for females. Okay? Does that make sense? Why we would do that? Guys, this will have a bigger effect on conversions than many of the other things you do. Okay? The campaign level stuff has a huge effect on conversions. Okay, great. What else, good sir? Yeah.
So can you, like, how would you decrease it for females? Would you have to go through on each ad group and do it?
Yeah, you do it on each ad group. So I'd go down to females here, and I'd probably want to look at each ad group. Look at this, guys. 538 versus 126. I'd probably, I did. I decreased it here. Look at that. Negative 25% for that one ad group. And the rest of them were kind of in line. So that one ad group threw these numbers off. Even that one's still kind of high compared to the men. And another thing you might want to do is ask yourself, why is metal stairs doing so much better than steel stairs? What's going on in those? So I might want to explore the two ad groups and see why that one's better. Could it be that like metal stairs is a better keyword and I need to pause steel stairs? I don't know. We'd have to explore the search queries to understand that. Questions? Yeah.
I was gonna say, why did you only, like, what's the number you picked for the bid adjustment?
Oh, the 25%?
Yeah.
It's so high that like I couldn't care less if I get 0 out of that. So I started with 25%.
Okay, and then you just kind of monitor it to try and get it back to that sweet spot of like 100, 100.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever go back, honestly.
Okay.
I think it's probably better just to pause it.
Okay.
You could pause that, guys. So you could go up to here on this and just pause this. Exclude from ad group. Bam. Done. Now I'm not going to get any from that. Yeah. No more females. Totally sexist. Go ahead.
Can you state one more time why we lowered the bid? Just so it's like
Right. So when we lower bids, we get fewer impressions in the Google auction because somebody else is bidding higher. If others are bidding higher and you're not willing to bid that high, Google's not going to show your ad. Fewer impressions means fewer clicks, means fewer conversions. But if you do get clicks, it's at a cheaper cost. If it's at a cheaper cost, then your cost per acquisition is lower.
So then, like, is the main advantage of lowering your bid just trying to reduce how much you're spending to get better CPA?
It's trying to reduce your CPA because your conversion rate's not changing. So if you had 100 clicks before, you get 100 clicks now. But instead of getting them at $1, you get them at 75 cents. You just change your cost per acquisition by 25%.
Just really quick, is there a general ballpark for like the number of conversions before you feel comfortable changing things?
This kind of stuff I like a lot. I don't like to change anything on here until I have in the hundreds number.
Okay.
Same with day parting, same with demographic. I like to have a lot of numbers to look at. Because it could just be a specious correlation, and I'm hesitant to do stuff off of that.
This is probably a stupid question, but why would
Just
you
stupid
not,
people.
Yeah.
That's not you, though.
All right.
That's not you.
Why would you not just like slightly decrease your bid like across the board, or like just lower your bid?
Uh-huh.
Because wouldn't that just bring your cost per acquisition down?
Great question. It's a great question. Why don't we just keep bidding lower? Why don't we bid 1 cent? Take that to the extreme.
You probably won't get anyone.
Okay, so why don't we bid a little bit lower?
Well, if you just brought your bid lower, then your cost per acquisition would go down, but then you get less like volume, right?
Your less volume.
So okay.
So it's a function of volume and your bids. That's exactly right. There's a sweet spot to hit it. Yeah, go ahead.
So you're limited by budget, right? And you've got one sector of males that's like performing really well, and the other sector of female that's not performing well. So if you lower your bid on a female, if you can get cheap female clicks, like it'll still send cheap female clicks through. But the idea there is that since you lowered the bid on the female clicks and you're limited by budget, it's going to send more of the budget to the males.
Mhm.
So you got cheaper acquisition.
This is true. What was you laughing about?
Oh, just cheap female quick. Wrong in my writing.
All right. That's funny. All right, guys, here we go. Yes, sir.
What is the optimization score up there?
What are we looking at?
Up
Oh,
top.
okay, so this is something that Google uses to determine like what you could do to your account and stuff. So this is telling me I'm 78% of the way there. So let's just look at what the recommendations are. It's probably gonna tell me to add like extensions and more ads and stuff. Your ad stopped running on your busiest days. Fix your limited budget can help. So raise my budget. That would account for 9.5%. Create dynamic search ads. We have responsive search ads, so I don't care about the dynamic ones. Update your customer list for better remarketing. Some of these are good examples of things to actually help. Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily, don't take that for a word of like the Holy Grail. Use my campaign audits versus theirs, all right? My stuff's the Holy Grail, their stuff is like good recommendations. Yeah. Keep going, Lance. Let's hear it.
Did you want to look at household income too for demographics or not really?
I mean, we can, yeah. If it's like some significant correlation, I mean, there could be, whoa. What the heck's going on with that? It's such a small stat, 584 versus 13, and still weird though, right? Still really weird.
That's way more 41 to 50%.
Yeah, the cost per acquisition is super high versus, I mean, the volume's relatively low, so maybe that's part of it. Yeah, it could, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't feel comfortable changing that because even the logic on that says that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next, Lance?
Okay. RLSA audience.
What the heck is that?
Is this
Retargeting.
retargeting?
What's retargeting?
Are you retargeting the people that have come to contact your ad?
I don't know. You tell me. All right. I'm not going to talk all about this today. I might go into more detail next week about this. So let's just give a little bit of advice here. Okay? This is what cavemen do. Okay? These are what cavemen do. This stuff right here. Okay? This is how most people spend their retargeting budget. They do a duration of about 30 days. And they do a budget of, let's say, $100 per day. They're never going to spend that budget, but that's what they look like. Okay? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the caveman approach? Riley?
People are more likely to actually buy the closer they are to having seen it before.
Maybe, right? That's a general association. What if it's a house? How many times have you had to come back to buy a house? Couple. How many times do you have to come back to buy a baby toy? So we can look at this, right? So if you look at like a histogram, this is for a buyer's histogram for, let's say this is Sugar Me Wax, or Nomadic backpacks, okay? That's the one I have up here. You guys, my backpack up here. Probably a lot of people buy day 0. They don't need to be retargeted. But then a lot of people come back the next day after thinking about it and they buy. And if you look at the day after, they come back and they buy, and the day after, there's a few more, and it keeps kind of attritioning. And then what you find is between day 5 and day 10, the total buys are like 1/4 of everything else. In fact, most of, like 80% of the buys are here, you know, in proportion. Like it kind of looks like this, right? Where most of it's here and a little bit up here, right? So what's wrong with this? What should we be doing? What should it look like? Will?
It should be higher in the first couple of days of retargeting,
Yeah.
and
Then it should go back to normal. Yeah. You guys with me? This is how Sugar Me looks. Look, you get a wax first few days, but then even those people that converted, they need a wax in 30 days, right? So we need to have some ads for that. I had this ad I created, and it got rejected. Can I share that?
You should bring it up, it's funny.
I think I have it. Yeah. It got.
It's not as bad as President George W.'s last name ad. That one ad you showed us accidentally for a second.
Oh, the Bush ad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was- but look, I tried to target this for every 30 to 40 days, right? Just like a haircut, you know, it's time for a haircut every 30 to 40 days. And it's consistent, right? So people come back to the salon every 30 days. That's about right. Okay, so that would,
You know why you got rejected?
yeah, because it's like inappropriate. They're not going to have it. It was hilarious. Come on. All right. Got to have fun with your business. Okay. By the way, I had somebody last semester, they wrote in their like end of the year feedback. They're like, he always talked about bikini waxing. It was so inappropriate. He had like swimsuits on the board. I'm like, this is my business. Like, grow up, you know? So if any of you have problems with me talking about bikini waxing, I'm going to talk about it in this class. And if that makes you uncomfortable, here's your warning. You guys can talk to me afterwards. We can have some, David's on his way out. Get some therapy for that. Yeah. I have to do things that are relevant to like me, right? Like stuff that I'm actually working on businesses. Okay, so what I would do is I would do an audience for 3 days and an audience for 30 days. And I have 2 different budgets, okay? One of these budgets would be high, and I would also do high frequency. And the other budget would be lower and lower frequency, okay? That's how that looks. You guys good with that? So my question is, how do you set that up, Lance? I didn't go over this, so you might not know.
You just create those audiences.
Just create those audiences. How do you do that, Lance?
Create new audience.
Where's that at? Okay, this is super confusing, but no. Stefania?
Sorry, I'm gonna go back one step.
Go ahead.
So on that previous slide, you had 3 days and 30 days. Are you saying that after 3 days and 30 days, you would pause that audience or whatever?
Yeah, you could create bigger audiences if you wanted, but typically if they haven't bought in 30 days, for at least my product, then they were not going to buy. On another product, they might. It might take a long time to buy. Like a Fat Boys blog might take 45 days. Yeah. Okay, great question. So Lance, you're not off the hook. So if I go to, this is super confusing, guys, so like pay attention. If I go to audiences here, there's no way to create audiences from this. You have to create it in the tools section. So, and then you have to apply it in this section. So if I go to tools and settings up here, and I go to setup, and then I go, go to shared library, there we go. Yeah, you just want to click on setup or, you know, just warm yourself up to get to the audience manager. But I go to my audience manager down here, and this is where I create audiences, okay? So here we go. If I hit custom audiences, I can create audiences of, let's say, an affinity audience. So that would be like a trucking audience or what's a good product? So let's say you're a golfer. Okay, they don't have an audience specific for golfers. You put in a couple websites and keywords, and then you can target people in the golf group. You created a custom, it's custom because you made it, interest audience. We call that custom affinity or custom intent audience. Does that make sense? The difference between the two, affinity is people who like golfing. Intent is people with the intent to buy something golf related. So which one's a stronger audience? Intent, okay? So custom intent audiences are better there. But for the remarketing Lance, we're going to go over here to this plus sign. And we have a couple of ways we can do this. I can do a custom combination. Let me go back. I don't want to do that quite yet. Let me show you guys this first. So first I hit this plus sign, go to website visitors. I'm going to call this audience 3 days. Because people buy the nomadic backpack or Brazilian waxing within 3 days. I could do visitors of a page, visitors of 2 different pages, visitors who did not visit a page, visitors who came during a specific date range, or visitors of a page with specific tags. I don't even know what that is. We'll do visitors of a page, and the URL contains Sugar Me Wax. Okay, .com. It doesn't have any members because I'm not even on the Sugar Me Wax account. Okay, that's that. And I'm going to include people from the past how many days? Oh, that doesn't matter. That's your initial list size. I'm going to include people from the past how many days? How big is my list size?
34 days.
No, look. 3 days. Trick question. Okay, so I created a 3-day list, and I'm going to say 3 days, high intent. And I'm going to give this all the budget, all the frequency, all that stuff. I'm going to give it for this right here. Okay, so I create a 3-day list description. I can put that in and hit create audience. Okay, and then I do another one for the 30-day. So I just create one with 3 days and one with 30 days. And then I can do, I'm not going to go into this week, but basically you do what's called a custom combination. And you subtract the 3-day from the 30-day. Why would I do that?
Because otherwise you're just retargeting those people twice.
Yeah. So that way I have 3 days to 30 days. I'll go over that next week. I don't want to confuse you guys. Yeah.
But you do the same thing, like say if you only want, so like with your sugar me wax,
Yeah.
you want to target them like after 20 days or 30 days, be like make a 30-day audience and then subtract the 20-day audience and then just not spend any money on the 20
That would give you 20 to 30 days.
Yeah.
So how would you do 30 to 40 days?
You'd like have a 40-day audience
Uh-huh.
and the 30-day audience would subtract the
Yeah.
30-day. Okay.
Exactly. And that's what we do with these custom combinations. So if I click here, we do a custom combination. I would choose this one, and then I would choose none of these for the next group.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it'd be everyone on the 40-day audience and no one on the 20-day audience or 30-day audience. That's how that works.
Okay. How do you add that to a campaign? Like, which is
Yep.
marketing?
We'll talk about that. So this is what it looks like. So here's how your audience is. And then this is kind of what you're doing. You're subtracting out the 3 days. So you have the two audiences, and you do a combination of this one minus that one, and that gives you this. Does that make sense? You guys feeling okay? Feel like you're dead. None of you guys are dead, right? Okay, let's start acting like you're not dead. I know it can be boring. Okay. Okay, so I got the question, how do I add this to an audience? So here's what we do. Let's say we want to retarget these people on the display network, okay? We need to create a display audience campaign for that. So we're going to go to the display, we're going to create a campaign, display network, and then we're going to target only people in this audience group, okay? I'll go over that in a second. I will. But right now, I'm going to show you how to add this to search. So if somebody has been to your site, and then they search for, let's say, safety stairs on Google, and that's one of your keywords, is that guy a higher intent to buy or a lower intent from anybody else? Higher intent or lower? Lower means that they're not as likely to buy if they've been to your site before.
Higher intent.
Higher intent. So if you think higher, say I. If you think lower, say I. If you don't know, say I.
Can you like repeat the?
Yeah, so if somebody's been to your site before and then they go into Google and they search for, let's say they went to Safe Rack, so they make steel stairs, metal stairs. They search for safety stairs again on Google. Are they higher to buy or lower to buy? If you think lower, say I. If you think higher, say I. It turns out that with remarketing, that anytime you remarket to people, they're much more likely to buy if they've been to your site before. Okay? So that brand awareness, that brand pervasiveness actually helps with buying. So what should I do for people who are searching for stairs and have been to my site before? What should I do? Retarget. What should I do to the bid on those people? Increase the bid. So let's talk about this. So we call that RLSA ads. RLSA ads, okay? Retargeting lists for search ads. That's what that is. So check this out. So here's DM Work Platforms Riley. Riley created this campaign. Okay? I click on the campaign. Then I go down here to audiences. Okay? Because remember, when we wanted to create the audience, we'd go to tools and settings. When we want to add the audience to a campaign, we go to audiences. Okay? Click down here, I'd add the audience. And then what I do, observation or targeting mode for the search campaign. If you think targeting, say I. If you think observation, say I. Okay, Sarah is like that one just black swan doing her own thing. And she's right this time. She's right. Why observation, Sarah?
Because we don't know how it's going to work.
We don't know how it's going to work, okay? But also, if we did targeting, that means for that search campaign, which is searching for everybody on the internet looking for metal stairs, it's only going to target people who've been to your site before. Right. So that's
Observation, right?
no, with targeting.
With targeting, okay.
Right? Targeting excludes anybody not in that audience. It only targets that audience. So in this case, we do observation mode. We're going to add that audience of all visitors right here. Let's do that real quick. So I'm going to add all visitors. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to do a bid adjustment on those all visitors. So now, because it's in observation mode, I can do bid adjustments. In targeting mode, I only target those people. You guys get the difference? Yeah, go ahead.
When would you target?
Huh?
When would you specifically?
Oh, that is a very good question. Let's look. This is important, no?
You want to make a new campaign for a targeting, remarketing campaign if you're going to target a specific audience, right?
I would. Okay, so these are gangways. Okay? On this gangway campaign, gangways are people, gangway is like a bridge between trains or ships. It's a gangway, it's a bridge, okay, it's a connector. And we found that people of a specific type buy these things, and other people that type in gangways are not looking for these. And so we decided to only target these people. So if you look in here, if I go to audiences, and I look at people in the employment and manufacturing group, that's the only people I'm targeting. Because before I did the employment, manufacturing, then all, and my cost per acquisition was like $1,000 for all, and then in these two groups it was like $100. It actually made sense. My volume is way less, so if I want to do this, my volume is going to be way down. But the benefit is I'm really only targeting people who fall into that group. So when would I do this? When would I just use targeting on something? What if my budget's really low? What would happen? Why would I use targeting if my budget's low?
You don't want to waste money on people that you know.
Yeah, you don't want to waste money on people that probably are not going to convert. Like this is the perfect example because they got stairs, right? If I'm targeting people, the whole broad audience for stairs, there's people going to my site that are looking for stairs for their house. And they have no desire to buy safety equipment for construction. Okay? So if my budget's low and I don't have a lot to spend, I might target on specific audiences out the gate to preserve my budget because I know that these people are what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? I would probably do a couple of audiences. You know, just make sure I'm broad enough to get the volume up there.
Like a couple different campaigns? Or
No, the same campaign, and just instead of having just 2, I do like 5.
yeah, yeah.
So I can get a bigger volume. But it's still not as broad as like everybody.
Because it's targeted.
Yeah, it's targeted.
Okay.
That makes sense? Anyone else? Any thoughts on this? Great questions. Anything else? Okay, Lance, let's go back to what we were saying. So here, I'm going to go to this blue thing right here. Oh, wait. Actually, walk me through it. Walk me through it. So I want to add, on this search campaign, I want to add an audience. How do I do that? So I want to add a retargeting audience and a 20% bid modifier for that. Walk me through that, Lance.
Do you just add it in right there?
Yeah, so how do I do that?
Click the blue button? Or no?
Okay, it's asking me to create an ad group.
No, not that one.
That doesn't work. Where do I need to go?
Do you?
No. I already created the audience. I already have the audience for all visitors.
Then you go to audiences.
Okay, I go to audiences. Tools and settings is where you create audiences. Audiences is where you add audiences. Okay, now what, Lance?
I don't know.
You don't know. What do we do, guys?
Now the blue button.
Now we do the blue button. Good job. It's got the campaign, and then do I do targeting or observation?
Observation.
Okay, why not targeting?
Because you don't know yet, and you want to like change the business.
If I did targeting, what would that do to all my search volume?
You go way down.
Why?
If it's only targeting those people.
Because it's only targeting those people. I want to target everybody, but if you've been to my site before, I want to spend a little bit more money on you. Because I know that with retargeting, it always does better most of the time. You with me? So I clicked on this thing for all visitors. I hit save. So now I'm observing these people. That doesn't do anything right there. So how do I do a bid adjustment? Yeah, click bid adjustment. Increase by, just say 10%. Okay? And that's that. If I want to do that for a display campaign, okay, I could create a display campaign on this. And I'd go to audience and I do targeting for the retargeting of the visitors. That's how I would do that. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
So I'd create a campaign. I create it display only. Just do the campaign, put the ads in there, and then I do just like everything and just do broad targeting for my display campaign. And then I go into the audience and I would do just like you did, but instead of observation, I do targeting for all visitors.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only difference. Did everyone follow that? If you didn't follow, say aye. Okay, so I'll say that again. So if this were I don't have a display campaign on here, so I can't just make one. Let me see if I have one out here. Okay, so let me go to a different campaign. What HCQ? So let's just go to this campaign. It doesn't matter which one it is. Let's say this was a shell campaign. All that had in there was the ads, no targeting at all. Where would I go, guys, to create this for the retargeting campaign? Audiences. What do I do now? Blue button. Edit audience. Select an ad group, topics. What do I add? Is it observation or targeting? In this case, it's targeting because we're on the display network. We're targeting people who have been to my site before. Okay? Browse. And then, oh, sorry. So let me do that a little slower. Down here it says, what are they actively searching for? Oh. How they interact with your business. So these are remarketing ads. And then it would show the retargeting list right here. The problem is this campaign is HIPAA compliant, and so you're not going to see retargeting in here. And so that's why it's not there. Otherwise, it'd be there just like the all visitors, and we'd just do a targeting campaign on that. Does that make sense? You good with that, David? Yeah. Okay. Everyone else good?
Why is retargeting a HIPAA violation?
For anything medical. So if you went to a cancer-related site, and then you and your daughter were just walking on the internet, and you started getting ads for like bone cancer, and you didn't want to tell your daughter you had bone cancer, that's a privacy issue. Yeah. They don't allow you to do that, so we can't do any retargeting. The way we get around this, by the way, is we target people who have an intent in the breast cancer awareness group. So anyone who has been to a breast cancer site, we will target them. But we can't target them we target people through the intent and not the fact that they've been to our site. So retargeting is people on your own site, and then intent-based is just people who've been to breast-related sites, breast cancer-related sites. Yeah.
So if you were to make a lookalike audience,
yeah.
All people from your site you got emails for, then it was medical related?
Nope. Nope. In Google, you wouldn't really run that. It'd be much better to just find people under the intent audiences. So let me show you that. So back to tools and settings. And then audience manager. You can do a customer list, but it's not as good as Facebook. Okay, because in the customer list on Google, remember, they don't have all the details Facebook does about you. They have your name, your email, your age, and that's it. They're much more related to what your browsing activity is. So I'd much rather do that off of an intent list off of website, not a remarketing, custom audience. I'd much rather do a custom intent list. We'll call this like breast cancer. And then for these keywords, I could put keywords in URL. So I might do breast cancer genetics, breast cancer hereditary, and then maybe breastcancer.org. So I got a couple keywords in a site, and then it's going to find everybody in that kind of category who has looked for those things and target people in that. That's not a HIPAA violation. Okay? It's a way to get around it. Oh, really awesome way. Okay? So make sure you guys think of that if you ever do any pharma stuff. Okay? That's my secret, actually. I was able to do better than like entire agencies for this company because I knew that one trick. I could kill it compared to any other agency because of that. So, okay, Lance, what's next?
So are we going back to the things to check, or?
Yeah. So we did demographics, we did day parting, we did campaigns. What's next? Yes, it is. CPA bidding strategies. So when do we start to use automated bidding strategies on Google? Huh? Yeah, 20, 25 more conversions in a month. That's when we can start to use that. So if I'm getting like 30 conversions, 40 conversions in a month, I might want to test going from an eCPC or CPC to a target CPA because it has enough data to actually do automated bidding strategies. You have furrowed brows. What does that mean? What are you thinking about?
Oh, no, I'm just focusing.
You're like
Sorry.
focused. Any thoughts though? Any difficulties here? We're good. Yes.
You said you go from, once you have 20 or 25 conversions, you go from a CPC to an eCPC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
No, for CBC.
One of those two to a target CPA or max conversion.
Okay, sorry.
When would I use max conversion? Low impression share. What's the magic number?
Isn't it like 50%?
Yeah, so if it's 50 or below, typically I'd go to a max conversion. And if it's above 50%, what would I use?
The target CPA.
You guys good with that? Okay.
Wait,
Awesome.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, so
It's below 50%?
if the impression share is below 50%, I do max conversion.
Okay.
Do you guys remember why? Should I go through that again? Let's do it. All right. Woo! Let's go through it again.
Does that mean you're not limited if you're only...
If you have a 50% impression share, that means you're only showing to 50% of the people. What's the goal of max conversion, guys? Was that Will? Of course it was. He's right. Yeah.
Well, just isn't it to maximize your conversions given your budget?
Yes. Given your budget's the key, right? So if my budget is $1 billion, how would I maximize my conversions?
Just spend as much as you can.
Yeah.
on everybody.
I would maximize my impression share. So how do I maximize my impression share? How do I spend the most? Bid high. Okay? That's why if it's 100% on the impression share, we don't use it. Okay? Because it's not going to be judicious with the bidding algorithm. If we know our limited resources, our impression share is only like 50%, then it's going to say, okay, these two people are coming. They're not very likely to buy. I'm not even going to bid on them. I'm going to pick, hand select which ones of the people that come to my site or the people that could come to my site are ones that could possibly give me a conversion. And if the data shows in the right direction, then I can maximize my conversions for a lower budget by being judicious with who comes to my site. And I do that by being selective, right? I just pick the right people. And so a 50% impression share or less, if you're like 30% impression share or 20% impression share, that's awesome. That's killer. It's really good. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, that's why. We went through a whole lot of detail on that in past classes. So check out those notes if you want to. But that's how that works. Yeah?
So when you're starting out, just a random question, is there a reason you'd want to use like eCPC versus manual CPC?
eCPC doesn't really start to take effect until it has correlated data.
Okay.
So it's okay to put it on eCPC, even from the beginning.
Okay.
The times, like for hereditary cancer quiz, I know that I need a 35-cent CPC on display network to make that work. And so because I don't want it ever to go above 35 cents, I do a manual CPC. If I do eCPC, it's going to start bidding at 50 cents, $1, whatever it wants. And I don't even want to give it that leeway. So if I already know, then I might just throw it on manual CPC. Mm-hmm. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, the AI-based bidding strategies work better than the CPCs. And so one of the problems with SCAGs, campaigns that have only one ad group and then one keyword in them, is you never get enough conversions to run a true target CPA bidding strategy in the campaign. That's why I don't like those as much. Yeah. I also don't like how many campaigns you have to manage. That sucks as well. All right, you guys good with that? Any questions? Lance, take it away.
Alright.
You guys are doing good.
So I think the last thing is look at the performance planner suggestions.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys remember Performance Planner? This thing takes a couple of campaigns if they work for it. So we go under Planning here. We go to Performance Planner under the Tools and Setting. It's going to take a couple of campaigns, and it's going to help objectively look at how to reach your goal. Your goal could be spending $30,000 with the most conversions. Your goal could be spending $30,000 with the lowest CPA. Your goal could be spending to try to obtain a certain CPA. You have different goals, right? So typically it's a budget-based goal. So if I look at Performance Planner for hereditary, this probably isn't going to give me much. Yeah, it's literally got 2 campaigns in this. So if I say, let's go to let's go to this. Let's do big statues. Tools and settings, planning, performance planner. Okay. So up here in the top right, select the metrics. Conversion values, conversions, clicks. I like conversions. And then you could do spends, average CPA, or target as many conversions as possible. I go by spend usually. Okay, we could do the previous period, which would be like having the same spend as before, and hit apply. So now on this graph, as we spend more money, we get more conversions, and it gives you a cost per acquisition cost for that. Okay, so what that looks like is, this is interesting. This is where we're at here. For the existing settings, we got 65 conversions at a $71 CPA. And this is saying that we could get an average CPA of $36 and 129 conversions. So what we do is we click on that, and then down below, these numbers start to change. So what this tells us is that, hey, spend a lot more money on this. Okay? And the way we get that, see how there's dotted lines? Oh, sorry. See how there's dotted lines under this? So we'll go here under Bronze Sculptor, click on that. Oh, this is new actually. This used to not do that. Oh. So it says it right here, scale bids by 48%.
It's not new. It's in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes it tells you to scale the bids, sometimes it tells you to just change budgets.
Maybe I've never clicked on it, but see, it says it right here. If you highlight over, it says it. I've never clicked on it like that. Okay, so yeah, so that's brand new to me. I haven't seen that. So you would change the bids by 48% and then set the daily budget to $60. You would make those changes to get there. Now, what if you're using target CPA? Do you want to make huge changes on a target CPA? No, why not, Sarah? It'll reset the campaign's bidding structure. So what should we do?
Do it by increments over
Yeah, so if it tells you 50% lower on the CPA, I'd go 10% down for 2 weeks. I'd go 10% down. I would do it at a lower rate because it could really shock the system. Because remember, on a target CPA, if you don't hit that goal, it just turns off. It doesn't do that on eCPC, but it does that on a target CPA. You with me? Yeah.
The other thing on this is that like after you make the changes and you wait 2 weeks, you come back and do performance planner again, it's going to give you new numbers.
Yeah.
So even if you like move in the direction that it tells you move, and then you like readjust after 2 weeks, you come back with performance planner again, and it's gonna like update it because now it's got more information.
Riley, can you change that campaign on Big Statues? It's actually a good recommendation, so just make sure that's right. So he would want to change. So notice right here, this campaign, we use performance planner here, and we said DM custom statues, eCPC, scaled down 15% because we didn't go the whole way, budget 40 to 30, 1017. Okay, so then we could go back to 1017 when that change was made and see what kind of results that did in comparison to before. And if it helps it or not, right? Yeah.
Does Google ever give you like a history of how you've manipulated your campaigns or anything?
Yeah, and this is how I'll grade you as well. It's a good thing you asked about that. So if I go to like these campaigns, down here, if I go to change history, this tells me all the changes we've done to the account over the last 90 days. So I can look at exactly how you guys were thinking about running these ad campaigns. Pretty crazy, yeah.
Is this the final that we're going to be doing in class?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the final for the last day of class will be this, and the final for the second to last day, which is in like 2 weeks, is going to be Facebook. I changed that on the schedule actually like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I needed more time to be able to do both, so I want to be able to grade like that. Yeah. By the way, I know it, like in the beginning of this semester, we had a ton of homework, and then I backed off, really helping you guys to focus on these campaign stuff. And then from now until the end, when all your other classes are super heavy on homework, I'm just helping you focus on these things. Okay? This kind of was my thought on this. You're welcome. From there, I'd probably go into the ad groups, Lance, and I'd probably just look at these and see what kind of changes. And then what do I do at the keyword level? What can I look at the keyword level? Huh? Yeah, look at the search terms. What do we call that report? No, it's not keyword history. It's called search query report. But it's actually looking at the search terms. Guys, if I want to look at this specific one, I would click on this and hit search terms. That would tell me for that specific keyword. If I click up here to search terms, these are all the terms in the last 90 days for that campaign. And I can go through and I can start doing negatives. Okay, so let's say this one right here, custom bronze statue of a pet. Is that likely to create conversions? Do people spend $20,000 on a statue of little Chewy, the dog? I mean, if they're Kim Kardashian, but are we talking a normal person? No, right? So is that likely a good keyword? Okay, so what should we do with this keyword? Okay, so how do we do that, guys? Lance?
You click on it and then add as negative keyword.
Ad group campaign or negative keyword list?
Negative keyword list,
Why the list?
because then it's just for that list, right?
Well, it's for all the campaigns in the list. So I don't have to go campaign to campaign and exclude all around. This is a ubiquitous list. Okay? All the campaigns in the campaign list. So this is important because if you create a new campaign and you don't add that to the list, the negatives aren't showing up for that. Does that make sense? So it's super important when you guys create new campaigns, you go in and you update the list. And if you go to the tools and settings, under the shared library section, you'll see negative audiences, negative lists, and that's where you update that. It's up here, guys. I'll show it to you. Tools and settings, shared library, negative keyword list. Okay, you just sort of add the campaigns in for that. Okay, guys, so what do I do? What do I do? Would I add it just like this? Lance? Would I add this as an exact match for custom bronze statue of pet?
You could, but that's only going to exclude exactly.
Yeah, in 90 days I had one impression on that exact term. So what should I do?
Do a broad match.
If I do a broad match on pet, it might be too broad. I'm really nervous to do broad matches on pet because what if instead of pet it's horse? You know, it might go super broad. I mean, it probably wouldn't do that, but for example, I might exclude things I actually want. So what should I do?
Is it like a phrase match?
Yeah, you do a phrase match. How do I do that?
Put it in quotes.
Put what in quotes?
The whole thing.
Nope. Yeah, let's put pet in quotes. Now, no more pet terms are going to come up for for any of the campaigns. And you just save them a ton of money. You just optimize a campaign. Good job, Lance.
Feels good.
Feels good, huh? Does that help you guys? You guys learned something from that? Okay, at this point, by the way, we're going to end closer to 8. Just letting you know. You guys okay with that? I have a lot to teach you. Haven't got into it at all yet. This is just a review. This is because Lance needed it. I know all you guys were all like professionals and Lance was the only one who didn't know anything about Google Ads. So I had to do this for him. So thank you for being patient with that. All right, guys, take a 5-minute break. Be back at 7:15, and we're going to crank this out for the freemium model. I have some cool stuff for you. It's like that movie director chair. Quiet on set. Yes, sir.
So when I was trying to add phrase match keywords in, it was saying I was using quotes was not accepted. Have
Let's
you
see
ever
it.
had that
No.
problem? Okay, let me bring that up.
So what you do is go to tools and settings. Shared library you want. Add. So click the plus button. Start the list. And you just add everything you want. And then what you can do is you can go into your negative keywords into different campaigns. Well, actually, so just put in like
Can I see it?
I clicked on the campaign and then I went to keywords.
Oh, I know why. What was the campaign again?
Stoves or inserts. Probably, no, go to general.
Okay, so by the way, all of these campaigns are smart campaigns, and then this one is like a smart, it's a search and display. So
I must have clicked that by accident.
yeah, you definitely don't want to do anything with that.
So the ones we made was inserts, general fireplaces, and the stoves one.
Okay,
She's
yeah.
made all the other ones.
Yeah, we might want to fix that one.
Okay.
Okay, and then for these three, you get the inserts.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to keywords, GK, right? And then see how this up here says keyword text equals wood
Oh, right, okay.
and broad match. So I'm just gonna take that off.
Yeah, I didn't know like the best way to mix and match them all, but
Let's go to inserts woods.
okay.
So you wanted to add in some phrase match?
Some phrase matches, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I added the quotes, it wasn't accepting any of them.
So you got a lot of these. So wood inserts.
Felt like I was kind of shooting in the dark with a lot of these, but
Yeah.
I just added like as many as I could.
And notice how your max CPC would have to change to make that work. It's at 1 cent. Okay. So then, should work.
So that's weird.
Yeah, it worked for me.
When I like copied and pasted from the list I had, it was just saying like it won't accept these. It was being all weird and strange.
Wouldn't copy and paste, just type it in.
Just type it in.
You kind of have a ton of keywords in here.
Okay.
I'm okay with that for now, but one of the things I'm worried about is like, you had wood inserts, and inserts was, are there other names for inserts?
Not that I'm aware of. Inserts are only for the ones that go into the wall.
Okay.
Is what I gathered.
Might be better to just do a BMM on both of those, wood and inserts.
Okay.
Or not run a BMM, I don't know, depending on your budget and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just because like insert in wood, like that would come up for insert dog into wood.
Oh, okay.
It might not be good to do a broad BMM on that at all.
Okay.
Because that could be any order. You really want wood inserts, right?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
right,
I might want
exactly.
phrase match instead.
Okay. Gotcha. So that's what I was trying to do before.
Yeah, but you can get that to
Let
work.
it go in.
Just
Okay.
type it in and then pause the other ones or delete
And
the other ones.
do I want to do phrase matches for things that are like buy wood inserts?
Sure.
Like phrase match for that, or
There's no harm
I
in
want to
that.
buy a wood insert or something like that.
If those are coming up on search queries, I would add them in
Okay.
as a phrase match, but I wouldn't necessarily start with that.
And just search that on Keyword Planner.
So look right here. So once you get going with this,
Mm-hmm.
every couple of days you go to search terms and you start adding and negating.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I'll be able to see what's performing well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the max CPC, how do I change that?
You do this and you can change it right here.
Oh, okay.
I actually hate doing it that way. I prefer that you would do it here at the camp, at that group level.
So we have it at $3. Why would it go to 1 cent?
No, not for the wood one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It defaults at that.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay.
So now if I hit here, all of these are that way.
At $3.
Yeah, I don't do keyword bids unless there's like huge disparities. Like I'm limited by my bid. I can't bid. I have to bid higher on specific keywords. Because I like to look at it at the ad group level. It's just easier for data management.
Okay. Now, how do you know if you have like too many keywords or too little keywords? You just kind of do as many
Well, you
possibilities
probably have too many keywords, but they're all very tight.
Okay.
So it's okay.
Okay.
And as long as your ads are relevant to those keywords, then you're fine.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay. Great. Awesome.
Hey, great job.
Thank you so much.
Love it. Yeah.
Just because it's $20 published, like we need to, doesn't mean that you can't get lower.
Yeah, we put our
Well, you might not get any clicks.
Hey, Steve. Are you guys doing any Google Ads stuff now?
I mean, yeah, so the budget per day doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to get a lot out of this that you can start putting the pieces together. Yeah. And you guys can all, between the four of you, you got that. Yeah, hopefully. Sick. Oh. Yeah, last week was big. Last week, all we did was account audits for Google. It would be really worth watching that. Ask Keaton for last week. Let's wrap up the conversation. Let's get started, boys and girls. All right, let's get started. Guys, next week my spiritual thought is on artificial intelligence. Ah, yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Yeah. I know, man. I know this video's not going up in public, so I just. Yeah. Thank you. I know it wasn't you, Steve.
I wish you filmed grilling our final faster.
Oh, the grilling in the final?
That would have been on like fail on.
Probably. That's funny. All right, guys, bring it in. Yeah, next week we have a lesson on artificial intelligence. Okay, so 50 Cent, guys. 50 Cent was in this meeting, or he was like on a couch, guys. He's in a trailer. He's an actor. He's the guy who sings "Get Rich or Die Trying." I don't know what you heard about me. You know that song and everything else, and the big pimpin' songs. And yeah, well.
He invented vitamin water, right?
Did he really?
I think so.
He was like the promotion behind it. I don't know.
It was his idea.
I give very little credit to it being his idea, if it even was. Might be a little credulous, but you know, who would put it past him, right? It's 50 Cent. Yeah.
I'd actually heard that he's made like 20 times what he ever made in all of music because he was one of the ground people and Coke paid him off.
Uh-huh. And vitamin water?
He made something like $300 million or something.
Dude, that sounds crazy because he's broke. He went bankrupt like a couple years ago.
That's because he's a baller.
Spend that money. He's like John, huh? Yeah, he spent that money.
There's actually this way funny story. Like, so he was in financial trouble a while back, but in one of his albums, he let people pay for it in Bitcoin, and then like his accountant did a review of his like assets, and
Yeah.
noticed he had all these Bitcoins. So he made like $8 million in like one day because they recognized he had Bitcoin.
And sold it?
Yeah, and sold it.
Anyway, so he's in this trailer, and somebody comes up to 50 Cent. He says, 50, how is this possible? You know, you're doing music, you're doing movies, like Get Rich or Die Trying. You got all these things going on. When do you sleep? He gets off the couch and he goes, sleep. Sleep is for those people who is broke. And now he's sleeping, right? All right, guys, the reason I bring this up is because the method that I'm about to teach you right now is something that has literally doubled my income in the past year. Okay, so for Sugar Me Wax, last year, I was doing about $97,000 in total sales in November. My profit on that $97,000 was between 3 and 5%. That's very low. Okay, so if you think about this, this is in November last year. If you think about this, if I'm making a 3% profit, you're like, yeah, you're making $3,000. That sounds great. What happens when you have a down month in the economy and you make negative 10%? What happens when it's not 100,000, it's 200, 300,000? You don't figure out your business before you scale, you're at risk at a big level. At $50,000 a month in income, and I have a bad month and I do negative 5,000, I can stomach that. I could probably stomach that in perpetuity. But if I'm at 200,000 or 300,000 and I have a negative 10% month and it's a $30,000 bill, I don't know how long I could last at that, right? My business is in jeopardy. So to prevent that, you've got to get the finances of your business right before you scale it. And I'd done everything I possibly could think of, and I couldn't get it right. And so this was me literally in October of last year, so a year ago, thinking to myself, maybe I have to close this business down. I literally don't know what to do to make this work until I had this idea. Okay? This was the company in March. 144,000. I just checked last class. Last month I did 190,000. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't looking for applause, but all right, thank you. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you with this is that it works very, very, very well. And my profit margin went from 3 to 5%. Last month I did 15 grand in profit. Yeah.
Is that for the same amount of stores that you do?
Yes, same amount of stores. Same exact amount of stores. So that is cool. Yeah.
Look at your canceled no-shows. How does that all work out?
Yes.
On both of them, it's been a third. I was curious if that changed.
So people reschedule, and that's considered cancel no-show.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens
But
all
a lot
the time.
of them are coming back. It's just
Yeah.
scheduling conflicts.
Right, so these people are like, they book it a month out, and then a month comes by, and they're like, hey, can I just get a later time? That happens all the time in this
Okay.
business.
I
Yeah.
was just curious because it seems like a lot.
What's interesting is my membership dues are almost as much as my non-membership dues on this one, and now they're about 50-50 because we're converting better members. Remember the pay difference we talked about in the beginning of the semester, how you align your pay with your employees' pay? That made a huge difference in my business. Okay, so this last month I made $15,000 profit. So my profit was like probably around 10% or something, right? A little bit more than 10% because I did like 190,000 in revenue. Yeah, so everything completely changed. So what I'm about to teach you is huge. This was literally life-changing for my business, okay? So I want to talk about it. I call this the Freemium Model. And it works with almost any business, okay? The way it works is you give something away for free that has a value of 2. You do whatever you need to close the sale, and then you upgrade them after the sale for a paid amount to a value of 10. That's how the freemium model works. Service businesses, this crushes it, okay? Because what happens is you lower the barrier of entry, you create rapport, because now they're actually interested in your brand, and once they've already got this far, it's so much easier to go that far, right? So how this works for bikini model or bikini waxing is like this. I give away a free bikini wax on Facebook. I say, hey, here's a free bikini wax. It's free, no credit card required, totally free. You have to say that a bunch of times to get that, they actually believe you. You got to say it a bunch of times. They do the free bikini wax, and then over here, they book the appointment through text. They've already spent time learning about your company, researching, getting to know you, getting a good relationship with you. Once the appointment's booked, I say, hey, if you'd like to upgrade to the bikini wax, the basic bikini is 2 inches around the panty line. If you'd like the full Brazilian, which includes the front and back, it's $18 to upgrade. And over 80% of people upgrade. Over 80% upgrade. And if they don't do it now, they do it when they get in the store. So even more than that, yeah.
When you say close the sale, are you saying like get credit card information or like
So-
what's the close sale for you?
Yeah, so in my business, I don't take credit cards in that for appointment. You would before this, but the problem is I am pushing out marketing to them versus them pushing out to me. So a Groupon, or if they come from Google, they're searching bikini waxing.
Yeah.
On Facebook, they're not looking for this.
Okay.
And so I am a total stranger company, so I'm not taking any credit card information.
Got it.
If you're selling a product and you do free plus shipping, which would be give the product away for free and then just pay for shipping, you have to take the credit card information for the shipping.
Yeah.
Okay? So that changes things. You guys with me on that? Okay, so look at this. This is another company we did, free teeth whitening. I had a buddy of mine, he came to me and he said, hey, I've got this business in Provo, right, out of all places. He goes, I have a business that is doing teeth whitening and I can't find clients, and I heard that you help like find people clients. I said, tell me about your business. He goes, well, it's a $200 service. I said, could you give away a free service? What would that look like? He says, a free service? I was like, yeah, it's just light, right? He goes, yeah, it only costs like $2 for the product. I said, oh, so it's $2 for the product. What if you gave away like a 10 or 15-minute service for free? Could you do that? He goes, yeah, I guess I could. I said, get ready, because I will fill your books to the point where you can't take any more clients. And I did. We went through and we did a free teeth whitening here in Provo. Huh?
I think I saw that ad.
You saw that ad? Did you go in?
No. My teeth are white, bro.
I mean, that's why I asked the question, because they look so good. Right? So we did the freemium model, and this works so well. Guys, we were averaging, our numbers were this. We averaged $22 per, that was the cost with advertising to get somebody in the door, paying our employees, everything. It was $22. Every person that came in, the average revenue from that person was $50. So we made $30 on every person that came in the door. Now, not everybody that came in the door bought. Some people just got the free session and that was it. We'd come in, we'd take a picture of them before, and then we'd take a picture after and call it good. But while they're in the chair, we say, hey, look, if you want to get to your widest smile, It's normally $200, but we're actually doing a special. If you do it today, it's only $150. And the average number of people that would book was about 35%. And these are people that never even thought about doing the teeth whitening. Or they get done with a free session, they're like, holy crap, it's like a few shades wider. And you're like, yeah, here's the shades. You can get to this if you stay for the next 45 minutes to an hour and a half. We had a business that we literally created out of free teeth whitening. And then what happened was he wanted to do the thing in Arizona. We almost went through with this. We've already vetted the model. But then at the end of the day, like, he started doing solar leads and he liked it more. And so I said, all right, just do that instead. So we never went on to do more with this, but we made profit on this model right here. Okay? Yeah?
This place is located in Provo.
Yeah.
Do you have coupons that you're giving away?
We stopped doing it.
No,
Shut down the business?
Yeah, we shut down the business. It was profitable too.
Why?
He went because Provo's not the market, right? We were moderately profitable. Like, I think we did it for 2 months and made like $300 each the second month. Provo's not a big market. In Arizona, where there's 5 million people, and Scottsdale, where there's $30,000 millionaires, you know, they make 30, but they think they're a millionaire. Oh, it's super good. You know, that's the place to do it. So we were going to move it down there, but then he got sidetracked and did other things. Yeah.
People in Provo are cheap.
People in Provo are cheap. This would work a lot better in Draper or Lehigh. The equipment's like, I think like $1,000 per light. And then the ads were just free teeth whitening. That was it. Just set up in a room and go. And you could do 3 chairs at once. Yeah.
Would you mind selling this business?
You can do it. I'm not selling it, but I mean, you could talk to, I'll give you his number. You can talk to him. You can do it. If you wanted to, yeah. It works. We have all the numbers behind it. Yeah. Yeah.
Could you give an example on this with, like, if you're selling products?
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand the free part.
Uh-huh.
Something free, but I don't understand how to do the upgrade part with the products.
So Ben was doing free phone cases. He would say, hey, we had an overstock of phone cases and we're giving away 100 of these left over for free. Literally, all you pay is shipping. No credit, like, that's it. You get to the site, you see a really cool phone case, and then he just charged shipping. And then he would upsell them on getting 2 for like, you pay like $4 more and you get 2. Or he would upsell with a battery charger, like just different things, and he would do the upsells on those. So it was free with a $6 shipping, and he was still making money off of that. Isn't that crazy? I had another person that tried it, and his name was Austin. He was in the class last time. And he had a videography business doing wedding videography. So let's think together as a class, how could you apply the freemium model to wedding videography? Yeah.
You could do like a free first look or something like that.
Okay, first look.
And when they're at the appointment or before, you could try to upsell them to like do the wedding day.
Yeah, exactly. So he would do something of marginal value of 2, first look, for free, and then he would sell the packages to these people once he creates a rapport. It worked out brilliant. So he did this. What he did was a free bridal video. So you're in your bridal dress and you get a really cool video in front of a place. And he had a set place and he just gave times. And they would book a time. There was a 15-minute slot. They have to come prepared in their dress for the 15-minute slot. They get there. They do the exact same thing. The guy edits it the exact same way. It didn't cost him a lot of money to make these. But then as he's there, we say, hey, we would love to do your wedding for you. And he would sell them on a wedding package. And he would make money. He was getting, I'm not even kidding, leads for less than $5 a lead for these free bridal videos. And these are people that are wanting to spend money on a videographer. They already have someone who's giving value to them. Of course they're going to use them. Killer good, right? It's awesome. Had another guy, they did detailing for cars. Okay? So how could you do that for detailing for cars? What could you do? Yeah.
Free exterior wash.
Okay, you can do a free exterior wash. Yeah, you can do that. What else, Will?
I would ship the car fresheners
Uh-huh.
for free, and then I would do like a book now for like a half price off of $50.
Yeah, like a half price off of detailing. He did tires, free tire cleaning. And so he just had a free tire cleaning. You could literally do it off Facebook, or you could just do it with a sign, free tire cleaning. How long does it take you to clean 4 tires? You know, just wash them, everything. Oh, by the way, we're also doing a special on detailing the inside of cars. It's just $25. We could get it done like that. And people would do it. What's the discount tire? I think it is. Big O tire as well. They get free air, like air. Why? Because they upsell. They give a value of 2 and then they sell them on a value of 10. This works so well. This is the future of selling, guys. So now that your brain is spinning and you're thinking of things, oh, a person in the last class, they found these lip masks. They like go around your lip and make your skin look better for like 50 cents on Alibaba. An e-packet was like up $1.50. They're gonna try to sell free lip masks on Facebook and then upsell them on a derma roller and a couple of other things that they have like on their site. I think it's a great idea. I think it's gonna do really well. Yeah.
If you go to like the Quick Quack car wash and then you pay for the car wash and then after it says, oh, free vacuum, is that still a freemium model?
No. So this is interesting, and this is I got a lot of these questions last class. They say, well, what if I sell this and I give this away for free? That's the opposite, okay? That's just an upsell, okay? It's gotta literally be something of free for a value of 2 because free reduces the barrier of entry. When something is free, I'm intrigued, right? What's the catch? I wanna learn about this. I have a hook and a story right there, okay? So that's why that works. That's completely different, yeah?
The reason why companies do that, is that just to promote their brand more, to create more brand value?
Yeah, create value.
Okay.
Yep, it's a better offer than another car wash. What are some examples, now that you're thinking through things, what are some examples that you can think of where this would work really well? Yes, Sarah.
I know in editing, a lot of the way that people do things is I'll do a free chapter.
Uh-huh.
And then if you like that chapter,
Oh, yeah.
whole book or whatever.
You know, you can hire me for the rest of the book. David.
I could do like a free ad campaign.
Guys, great idea. On Facebook, hey, are you struggling with your ad campaigns? I'm an expert, and I'm just looking for a couple more clients. I would love to run a free campaign for you, and if it works after a month and you're profitable, hire me on full time. It's a win-win. You get a free campaign to see how it works, and if it does well, let's expand and do other campaigns together. Now you got a business, literally like that. Run about $100, $200, I bet you'd get enough clients to make that work. Target people with Shopify sites or target people with business intent on Google and see where that goes. You could support yourself on there, make a page about yourself and everything. Yeah, excellent idea, David. What else? What else? I want you guys to be thinking about this.
We have a chiropractor.
Uh-huh.
One of the big things that people who go to chiropractors deal with is pain.
Yeah.
And part of the business model that just exists naturally is you go to the chiropractor, you have an examination for free usually.
Yeah.
So we could possibly just, we'll tell you what's wrong with you for free.
Or free adjustment.
Free, well, I don't know if you'd be, like I don't know if a client would be interested in giving free adjustments.
Oh, your client as the chiropractor? I don't think it would work if you're just going to tell them what's wrong with them for free.
It's like, hey, what's wrong with you is you have a dislocated disc.
You can say free X-Way, right? Or free, you could do free consultation, but honestly, I mean, if you guys think that that's a good value?
It'd be the free exam. So they'd like find
Do you guys think that that's enough value, a free exam? I feel like everyone does that. I don't feel like that really makes you stand out. Yeah.
How could you do this if you were a DJ?
Oh, that is a great question. I don't know, like a DJ for weddings? I'll come to you, Steve.
I DJ stuff, but like I always do stuff for free just because I don't charge people. It's fun for me, but like I was just wondering.
Is there any repeat value where they come back and do double bookings or no?
Steak dances.
Yeah, man, you're in the wrong business already. Yeah. I don't know. With that one, that's a tough one. If there's something where there's repeat value, not like a wedding, but if it's like a venue thing, a venue hiring you, a restaurant hiring you.
Free playlist and then
you can
upgrade
target venues
to
and
like full on service.
Yeah,
Free wedding.
that's a hard one, man.
Free hours.
Yeah.
What about like single item and like a little bit larger price? Like say for example, something we mentioned earlier is like, say you have like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And you're selling that for I don't know, $200 or something, and there's not really, it's just like.
This doesn't work for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's where it doesn't work. When you can't give the product away for free or create the value in the upsells or create the value in the free shipping or the pay for shipping. Steve?
On that chiropractor one, you know those little gel discs that you snap the disc and then they solidify and they become a heat pack for
Yeah.
half hour?
Yeah.
Put the guy's logo and name on it and have him come in, give him a consultation, and hand him one of those. something that they're gonna take home, they will reuse it, and it's at least on their mind to help maybe get them back in again, possibly.
It's
They're
an
not that
idea.
expensive.
Yeah, it's an idea. That's an idea. I
Maybe they'll
still,
lose a little up front, but
and that's the idea, is like you lose money on the free, right? You lose a little money, but you're banking on the fact that your product value, like upsell, is so good that you make it back with time, right? That's the whole idea of this. Yeah. Okay. I would do dentists. Okay. Dentist, I think, is great. Guys, you could fill dentists. What could you do for a dentist?
Free teeth cleaning.
Free teeth cleaning. You know, the average person spends about $850 a year on a dentist that actually goes. You go in for a free teeth cleaning, next thing you know, you look like 50 Cent with like your gold teeth up front, you know? Got 5 crowns in the back of your mouth. That's how it works, right? That's an upsell. So you come in, you get the free teeth cleaning. You're already numb, not from the teeth cleaning, but let's say you have a cavity. Oh, you got one cavity. Why don't we take care of the rest while you're in here? Go and get it all done. It won't take but 15 minutes more. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, plus it's your insurance, right? You already paid your deductible. So teeth cleaning would be amazing if you could find clients for this, right? I'm spending a lot of time on this, like what else, but I want your guys' brain to be turning. Because probably the reason I spent 3 years on this business without ever thinking of this is because I just wasn't creative enough, whatever. But probably there's something in your business where you're just thinking about it. If you think about it a little differently, you've got a model that could be incredibly attractive and profitable for you. You just got to rethink the way you build it. Yeah.
Question. So do you think that like the value of the upsell is, or I guess like, so if you bring them in for free for something,
Yeah.
like how much is too much for an upsell? Does that make sense? 'Cause it seems like a lot of the examples, like
Right.
kind of cheap
Yeah.
upsell.
Right. So with me, I had about an 80% upsell rate. Maybe it was even higher at some point, 80 to 90% for the $18 upgrade. That's because the value of 2 was like nothing. Nobody wants like half the hair gone, right? They want the whole hair gone, right? So that was it. And I didn't even make money on this. I accounted for that $18 to pay for my advertising and the cost of the esthetician and wax. So I knew though that 40% of people that came in were gonna come back, and 30% of those people were gonna buy memberships. And they're on the lifetime value. So my advertising is free, and then I get all that money on the returns. On the teeth whitening, it was a $200 upsell a lot of the times. And on $200, we had maybe a 20 to 30% conversion rate.
Did you have like different upsells?
We tried a bunch of different things. Yep. Yeah.
Just really quick from a Google Ads standpoint. So then if somebody has used your free bikini wax, like how do you, so can you like make them a retargeted audience and make sure you don't retarget them again?
Okay, that's a great question. Let me show you this. So, bye, Chrissy. See ya. Let me show you guys this. So if we go to Facebook, Ads Manager, okay, so if I go down to Audiences, okay, so I hit on here and I went down to Audiences down here. I can create an audience for everyone who has booked. And I would call that, it's called a dynamic lead list, where anyone who has filled out the form, which is they're already taking a pixel for that, I put them on the list. And then when I track them in my audiences, I exclude them from the people I target. Okay? The opposite is true as well. Anyone who comes to my page, I create an audience for, and I target those people specifically, and I still exclude the people who have booked in the past. Right? Because remarketing, we know that works very well. Make sense?
Yeah, I just was wanting to make sure I knew how to like exclude people who had purchased, but you could still retarget people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, so for example here, create audience, custom audience, website, anyone who has been a visitor, or I create an audience for anyone who has been a lead. Okay, I'd have to create both of those audiences. Those would be separate audiences. And then under Ads Manager, if I go to an ad set, because then on the ad set is where you add your audiences. Over here, I would put, in my audience, I would put anyone who has been to my website. That could be a retargeting campaign. And then I would also exclude, right? I exclude people on those lists. That's how I do that. Does that make sense? Okay. Great question. Great question. I would want you guys to do that on your campaigns for Facebook. I think it'd be an excellent thing to do. Other questions on that? We're basically out of time, so I have given you no information on how to actually do this and implement it. So we'll do that next class, okay? I think it's a good place to stop. Guys, go home, start thinking about ideas that you can run this with for clients, for other people, or for yourself. And next week, I will show you exactly how to implement it, okay? Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.